Power Monday has been there from 2020, and this year we are celebrating 5 years. And we are welcoming each and every one of you to a dinner. The dinner will be in Nairobi. I know enough of us are not in Nairobi. We come from different places and different countries. But for those who are within the vicinity, you are welcome to be part of this development. It's been a big success. We started as, I think, 3-4 people, and today we always clock 100 plus. And we are happy with that progress. A lot of lives have been impacted. A lot of people have gotten their jobs, have grown in business, and Power Monday is unlike any other. So we also have the other CSR for Power Monday, which is also helping in a particular children's home. We visit there twice a year, and that is not Mukuru, but Precious Blood Children's Family. So we do that every year, and we are going to have the second one this year in we are going to have it in December, usually the first Saturday of December and another Saturday in June. And we welcome you to be part of that story. So I welcome Dr. Lucita, the poetess, to take us through what is prepared for today, and then we move on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope we are doing well, and we are going to meet next week actually, on Friday. And today, it's a beautiful morning. Out of the 52 Mondays we have, we've done 42. And we are glad to be here today. Allow me to delve directly to today's poem. I titled it, The Road I Traveled. The road I traveled, it was rough and wide, it wound through the valleys, steep with pride. And each step that I took, each turn that I made, it left marks of dreams never fade. The road I traveled. Through the rain and the sun, through the loss of the song, I learned that pain can make you strong. You see, faces passed, some stayed, some fled, but hope still walked where I led. You see, the road I traveled, I stumbled often, and often I rose again. I found peace in my struggle. I found joy in my pain. The stars were above, they were guiding me. Each night they whispered, "You came, keep going." The mountains loomed with silent might, but the faith I held within me became my light. No path that was too dark, no storm that was too deep, for courage to walk when doubt could creep. The road I traveled. Now when I pause and I look behind, I see the truth that life has helped me find. The road was hard, but it was so clear and so true. It made me me, and it led me through. And the road I still walk, I still travel in it. For every end unlocks more. The road I traveled never ends. The road I call life, I keep traveling it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lucita. You know, when you started that poem, I thought you were going to say the road less traveled, which is the other poem I love so much. There were two roads, one to Yellow Woods, and I chose the one less traveled. Thank you very much, and welcome everybody who is logging in. By the end of the day, I know we're going to be just about 100 plus, 100 thereabout. We always have that limit. Hopefully next year we'll be doing more than 100. So I want to welcome the person who's going to introduce the speaker. The topic for today, I know, is dear to very many people I know who are logged in here. And they are all champions into that same sector, that same topic, including here Dr. Florence Ambayo, Dr. Eda, lots of people. So I know it's one that attracts, one that is in time. And this is the month of October, usually October 10th. More specifically, people talk about mental health. And so we chose to have one session today in this month. So welcome. I want to welcome Robert Manyala to introduce the speaker for today. I'm told he's the one who should be doing that. And then we welcome the speaker. Robert? Is Robert there? Okay. Well, he spoke and then left. Okay, okay. I will do it. I will do it. We look for the profile of the speaker. Sorry for that. So I'm introducing Dr. Margaret Othieno Makanyengo, and she's an established consultant psychiatrist with a master's in medicine in psychiatry for 34 years. She has been in charge of mental health services in Kenyatta National Hospital for over 21 years, where she gained experience in child, adolescent, and family psychiatry. Under her leadership, she developed specialized mental health services in HIV/AIDS care and gender-based violence services. In partnership with the Ministry of Health, she participated in the establishment of the comprehensive care for HIV clinic in 2002 December, and which soon became a national model for managing HIV-infected patients. She was involved in the establishment of the weekly child and adolescent psychiatry clinic, the youth center, and the gender-based violence recovery center at KNH. She retired from KNH in June 22nd, 2019, after which she worked as a consultant psychiatrist at Oasis Mental Health Hospital on Peponi Road. She is a founder, member, and a member of the board of directors. She recently received an award of the Moran of the Burning Spear, MBS, in 2022 from the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And that is the person we have to speak to us today. Welcome, welcome, Dr. Margaret Makanyengo.
Thank you. So I proceed to share?
Yes, now the floor is yours. Proceed to share.
Thank you. Hope technology will be on my side. Good morning,
Technology
everybody.
is always on your side. You just confess the right things.
We fear, our age, we just fear. You just get stressed when you think you have to get onto
Don't get stressed. Technology is very
digital.
obedient.
It is
Technology is very
scary.
obedient. You do the right thing, it responds. It doesn't even, it's impartial.
Like now I want to do the slide sharing.
Yes, you did it very well. You see that button from the beginning?
Yeah. Okay. Is it okay? You can see my slide?
It's okay. Move on. I told you it's obedient.
I'm not AI. Okay. I hope my scroll buttons are working. Good morning, everybody.
Good.
I have this wonderful opportunity to talk about mental wellness in a complex and truly sophisticated society. And I know this time will not exhaust everything, but at least we'll touch some key points that enable us to continue this conversation. A brief introduction, and we have definitely challenges among Kenyans nowadays where the cost of living is so high, inflation, unemployment. Among youth, you know, it's amazing that you have graduates, you have doctors, you have people in masters who are jobless. And I've seen graduates who have pikis doing Uber and selling mandazis, you know, trying to eke out a living, you know, because there's unemployment, although there's self-employment, but you can see it's not of the level that they trained for. Again, we have challenges from climate change. As we all agree that the rainy season, the cold season, the seasons are just haywire nowadays. You can barely plan. But 68.9% of Kenyans live in the rural areas. And with all this climate change, deforestation, we were traveling with my husband the other day. We were going to Eldoret, and the trees, they're just no trees. These are places which used to have forests, and the forests would attract rain. But now, with that kind of deforestation, I'm sure a lot of farmers, I had a farmer talking when I joined, must be really struggling, yeah? So it brings a lot of stress. Then, of course, corruption, mismanagement, government weaknesses. You get stopped by police who will literally position themselves to hide so that you can make a mistake. That shouldn't work. Then you come and you, of course, now you make a mistake, and there you have to pay. You have to go to the station, and it forces you sometimes to do something you don't want to do. You know, we are forced to be corrupt sometimes, and it's very, very traumatizing and stressful to some of us. Yeah. Uh, Again, some of the sources of stress in our lives, healthcare. In my hospital, we have insurances, we have SHA, but then healthcare. A lot of people can't access this healthcare. You know, they can't access quality care because the one that now is near you, there's no mental health worker, there's no really qualified person, you know. So we really have a challenge here. Also, the cost of education. We get young people who have to be chased from school every month from 4 because they didn't pay fees. So a lot of us, and I'm sure even in this group, you have to chip in for fees for a secondary school student. It's just impossible, yeah? As well as financial access and credit constraints. Nowadays, it's harder. By the time you're getting a loan, the list of things you have to go through, which wasn't there before, yeah? The challenges continue. Let's look at the challenges we are facing on high internet connectivity and AI stuff. You know, even me, I was stressed. I didn't know I would upload this. You know, our generation, internet, it's so stressing. You know, I just wish I could overcome that. I'm glad I hear there's a psychologist, a doctor, a fellow colleague of mine. Yeah. And then the constant information overload. I open my email. I'm told broccoli is the best for your health. You know, it will chase away cancer and all these things. The next time I'm checking, don't eat broccoli. You know, and then I'm checking. Okay, the groundnuts are good for you. Then I'm told don't eat groundnuts because of aflatoxin. I tell you, I just don't know now what to eat, what not to eat, what do I, you know, where do you get the best information? It's very stressful. Uh, Economic and career pressures, you know, people are under pressure. There are students, you're in college, what do you want to do? What do you want to specialize in? But then, you know, if you want to do a career of your choice, you know, will you get a job? So it means that sometimes you have to do something that you didn't want to do because you have to look at, are you going to be able to be self-employed or get a job? And then all this rapid urbanization and competitions, too much for some of us. It's too much. Yeah? So we have not stopped there. Look at work-related stress. As a doctor, I get people breaking down, especially the private sector. We have bosses who are oppressive. They don't follow HR guidelines and management guidelines in handling employees. Somebody either just wakes up, doesn't like you, whether you're productive or not, and stresses you. So they come to my office as a psychiatrist at Oasis, where I work, and they want help. They're crying because the boss this, the boss that is promoting someone junior. What is very common is you have an employee who has been with you for some time. So because you don't like them, yet they are productive, you engage somebody who is less qualified and ask the same person to train them. Once that person is trained, now you want to get rid of this person, It's hell for so many people in the private sector, and a lot of stress, burnout, suicidal, thoughts and such. And then also this economic instability. You're qualified, both of you work hard, but somebody will be promoted because of either his ethnicity or his color or is a relative of so-and-so. It causes it's very demoralizing to a lot of people. And then digital dependency and social media, the Gen Zs, the young people, the millennials, all they have issues. And I'm going to talk about that. Totally dependent on the internet, and they cannot survive. There's one young man I was asking, can you survive 1 hour, just 1 hour without the mobile phone? No, I can't. And they can't. I remember attending to a kid who was brought to us and was extremely hostile and rude to the parents because they took away the phone. There's something he did, or she did. It was he. And they took away the phone, and she was wild. She started insulting them. We are dealing with mental health issues among this age group, yeah? And then, and in amidst all this, we have weakening family and community ties. At least I understand traditionally, the community, the extended family, the grandparents, they used to support the family, they support the children. The grandfathers would talk to the boys very early, the grandmothers to the girls, and the uncles and aunties were there to support the young people with issues. But nowadays it's not there. I've seen families are living in Nairobi. You don't talk to your auntie, you don't visit the aunties don't like you. Another case, which is so common, I'm finding that even aunties, you find they start wishing bad things for the nieces and nephews, and some even are accused of witchcraft and such things. It's a totally dismantled family structure, which used to be very, very useful, but now it's not there. So it's you and your nuclear family, you and your parents, and you mukikosana bas. It is either internet or your peers, and something is missing. So with all these problems, I've not even listed all of them. With all these problems, we have mental problems in our society in Kenya. The National Task Force on Mental Health in Kenya declared mental illness a national emergency as at 7th July 2020. And they did some estimates. They told us that 1 in 4 Kenyans suffer mental illnesses. And I'm looking at our room. I don't know how many we have reached right now. Paul, are we at 60 or are we at 100? I don't know how many listeners are watching.
We are 94.
Wow. So 94 divide. So 1 in 4, maybe that mathematics. It means of us 94.
Almost 24. 24, 25. 24.
1 in 4 of us have some kind of mental illness. Personally, as a psychiatrist, please, I don't want to scare anybody. This talk is supposed to encourage us. The truth is, in my life, I've never seen somebody who's 100% normal. I don't know if you, because even us, at times you wake up, you're stressed, you can't sleep because somebody said this and that. You are temporarily going through a mental health episode. It may have been short, but a lot of us go through this, yeah? In any hospital, you go to outpatient. I'm not talking about a mental hospital. In any hospital, a quarter, that's 25% of those patients have a diagnosed mental condition, yeah? And in any inpatient, almost half, 40% of people have some mental health condition on top of the medical condition of which they were admitted. And right now, my friends, we are having about 1,400 suicides per year, and it could be more right now, about 4 suicides per day. And these suicides are commoner in men, in young men. Depression is commoner in women, but the suicides are actually common in young men. And it is a big concern we cannot ignore. So just a brief definition, when we talk of wellness, mental wellness, this is a state of emotional, psychological, and social well-being where we can cope with our daily challenges, yeah? We're able to cope, we're able to be productive and to contribute towards society. And that's part of our wellness. And this includes also our ability to think and make decisions, our ability to regulate our emotions and the psychological stability. You don't get worked up, you don't get irritable. Somebody asks you a question, you're already snapping at them. You're disappointed by something, you're now projecting that disappointment to other people who are innocent. A lot of issues there. And every day we wake up, we need to have a sense of purpose and a meaning. Like we should be able to have resilience in the face of stress, because we all face stress. I'm telling you, if there was no stress, I hope I'm saying my internet is unstable, but I hope I'm still on. We all face stress. We all need stress. Without stress, you're like a cabbage, like a cabbage just sitting there. So some minimum stress, optimum stress is required to drive us. Yeah, to wake up, I slept late, I had to polish my presentation. That was some stress to enable me to teach today, yeah? So, but too much stress, excess stress can be very destructive. But, God created our bodies to have some element of resilience, and certain chemicals and hormones are produced so that you engage gear. And I'm telling you, you do a fabulous job. But if you have problems in your mental wellness, you might not manage. So what is the impact of all these issues we are having? The impact, the psychological impact, cognitive changes, our thinking. With all this stress, when we are overwhelmed, we are not able to think well. I know many of us have been in a situation where you are so stressed and you just, thoughts just get stuck. You're blank. You can't think. I know our team of psychiatrists and mental health workers went to Sierra Leone many years ago in the year 2000, when the RUF rebels were attacking people and the military bases were there. So we were told, go there because the bases need you, people are stressed. Thinking, you can't think, you can't decide, lack of decision, inability to concentrate. We were so forgetful, we realized we had burnout at that time. So we needed to just actually now come back to Kenya before we even completed our work, yeah? Physical fatigue or tiredness, waking up in the morning when you should be active, you should be strong after a good sleep. You're already so tired, you wonder, what is this, yeah? Anxiety, Occasionally you wake up, you have palpitations. Many of us have felt the heart beating fast on the chest. You think, hey, what is this? Yeah. And you can panic at times, even panic disorder, sweating, chest pain. A lot of the pains we have on our bodies, they talk of the hapa to hapa syndrome. Hapa inaniuma, hapa inarudi hapa, paka mguu. Those kind of hapa syndrome, where pain is moving from the head to the toe. It's not very characteristic of a physical condition. A lot of the time it's psychological or somatic somatization disorder. These are under anxiety, headaches, chest pain, and you're so you're uncertain about life. These multiple body pains, a lot of the time it is the body is crying out for help. You rest, you're anxious, yeah. And also we have in this changing world identity confusion. Who are you? Who am I? The way things are changing, I can't even cope. I can't adjust. I can't adapt. So, you lose confidence, so you end up sometimes with burnout and chronic stress like we did in Sierra Leone. And many of us do. Sometimes even in it's your own business, but you don't rest. And sometimes you're told, rest. You rest, take a break. Lakini rest, how will I make money? But when you're hurting yourself in the long run, you'll not be able to make money because you'll get secondary physical diseases like diabetes, hypertension, even cancer, among others, because the bad hormones or the negative hormones that cause stress, like cortisol, will be persistently raised, and that invites other diseases. Depression is one of the commonest mental illnesses that we experience. I know many of you, maybe you will not say, have experienced some brief depressive episodes, and it's really bad. Depression is bad. You find you cannot sleep. It starts with inability to sleep. There are people who sleep 1 to 2 hours, and that's it, they're up. Poor appetite, lack of interest in things. You used to like playing golf, now you don't want. You're constantly sad, yeah? And this sadness, at times you think life is not worth living, and I would rather be dead, And they start researching. A lot of these clients start researching on the internet, the fastest way to die or the painless way to die. So if you check their internet, you find they have been researching on how to die. And then they prepare, they will even buy poison, rat poison, others a rope, others, then here, iko kitu, yeah? And then they have low self-esteem and feel worthless, feel hopeless, yeah? And so many other symptoms, yeah? Negative coping strategies. Others will resort to pombe. Nikikunywa hii, you feel good. But pombe is a demon, I'm telling you. It makes you feel good temporarily, but when you crash, you crash. You crash and you crash, yeah? Substance abuse is not a solution. And young girls injure themselves. They come cutting their wrists. They have so many, razor blade, and they cut their wrists all over. It's a self-injury, self-harm, and they seem to get, they feel better after that self-harm and self-injury, which is amazing. You wonder why that be so. Then others resort to addictions like football, gambling, internet, and these are addictions, and then pornography and others as well. But these addictions, they give them temporary high. When you get high, it's the dopamine. The dopamine transmitters are elevated in the brain and you feel good. Yeah, but then when they stop doing these things, they crash, they are low, they're sad, and life is again not worth living, suicidal, so there's a problem. I hope I still have time. And now we are talking of the digital, like some of us, I love this digital technology because we have access to information. We have telemedicine, and so many apps that are helpful. But the problem is the screen addiction, cyberbullying among the young people, constantly comparing ourselves with people desiring to have likes, and to be accepted by people whom you don't know. You just see them in the Facebook and in the social media, but you don't know them. You just know them through the social media and the likes. Those are the most important things. The young people really suffer from this kind of addiction. And it affects their esteem. They have low self-esteem at times. If you don't get many likes, if you don't look like some people you see in the social media who look so beautiful to you, the perfect standard, but you don't meet their standard. You try, you don't get likes. So they have low self-esteem, they're suicidal. Yeah. When they lack poor social skills. A lot of young people spend all the time in the social media, but they less time with people. So you try visiting their parents when they're there. You'll see they will not even come and welcome you or greet you, because they don't know that when you get guests, welcome them, offer them a cup of tea, say hello, say karibu. You know, they don't have social skills. They don't have life skills. They have poor relationships. They're just on their phone. So this is a problem with the young people. Now, scientists have done neuroimaging tests and found the young people, and especially adolescents, they have brain changes. Too much social media has led to structural brain changes, leading to inability. Yeah, the brain is actually being damaged, such that they're not able to communicate. They're not as creative as they would like. And this is a real issue. You can read more about it. And there's pressure to receive likes, approvals, and they're so disappointed and have low self-esteem. Then the issue of dopamine surges, those dopamine surges really frustrate them, yeah? And you find they're not able to concentrate. They cannot focus or pay attention for even 8 minutes. Just 8 minutes is enough. They can't sit in through a presentation like this, because this presentation is longer. 8 minutes, they're already bored. So they're likely to get depressed with low self-esteem. So as I'm about to finish, we need balanced minds to enable us to respond to these daily challenges, in a thoughtfully and a non-reactive way, to have clarity of thought and decision making, to be emotionally stable at all times, irrespective of what the environment is, to have better resilience. Tough times like during the Gen Z times, many young people, the time when there were these protests, we needed a lot of resilience, Work-life balance, definitely we need. We have to have positive influence to others. We need to be adaptable. We have to be able to draw boundaries and say, no, at this time, I'm not on internet. I'm going to read a book. I'm doing exercise. I'm going to wash dishes. I'm going to take a walk, So as we are about to finish, in mental health, I had a doctor, and I'm so excited about her listening right now, where she's a promoter of holistic wellness. I'm also a promoter as a psychiatrist, and in our hospital, Oasis Mental Health on Pepeni Road, we promote holistic wellness, where it's not just about medication. There's the physical aspect, there's exercises. Exercises increase dopamine and some of those lovely endorphins, the feel nice chemicals, and you feel good. Yeah? Self-care routines like diet, kikula nyama mingi like our men like, I understand it brings problems, but we need veggies and a balanced diet, make you feel good, yeah? Good music, by the way, I've researched good music actually is good for mental health. They did studies on people who listen to bad music and then people listen to good music, and wow, you could see the changes in the brain, yeah? So I hope we're all listening to good music, yeah? Then games are fun, and sometimes we think as adults we should stop playing games. Games are nice. I wish we could continue to play games, yeah? And medications for doctors, when a patient has done all this and you find they still do not respond, we give medications which are lifesavers. When you're severely depressed and suicidal, within 4 or 5 days, medication will turn tables round. will balance your transmitters, your mood will pick up, you change your mind about suicide, you start praying, you go back to your family, you go back to work. Yeah. And so that's the beauty. I've had some people discourage people, don't take those medicines. Yes, there are certain drugs we avoid giving, they may be addictive, but a number of the drugs are so good and they are lifesavers. So we encourage physical wellness programs. We encourage psychological talking to somebody who is trained to actually guide you on how to be empowered, make the decisions, and come out of that trap of depression. Yeah. And positive psychology, science has shown that people who love and people who are loved, they live longer, they have better mental health than people who hate or are irritable, or people who are not, who are hated, So a prescription, when you come to my office, is love. You love somebody, start with your wife, your children. When you love somebody, I'm telling you, already it starts showing on your face, even the aging process, yeah? So emotions like unforgiveness is just so bad. In our hospital, we just say unforgiveness, it's like you're carrying boulders on your back and you're bitter against so-and-so offended you. Bitterness and unforgiveness actually drains you, yeah? So starting to forgive, we lead people in our hospital inner healing, where you try to identify where the trauma was and you lead them to forgive. Forgive your grandparents who did this. Forgive, and those you can reach out and say, I'm sorry, say. Those you can't reach, just say, forgive me. And I'm telling you, there's a big transformation. Occupational therapy is good, like we do beadwork, sculpturing is known to improve mental health and the structure of the brain. So beadwork and activities, even housework. I've seen parents, a lot of us, maybe you're comfortable, you have a maid, the child should not work, should not go in the kitchen, should not. I talk to these parents, people are doing the wrong thing. Whether you have maid or not, or money or not, let your children do chores. Let them work, let them clean the room, wash their clothes, cook. It's therapeutic, yeah? Because it makes you feel you're useful, yeah? You're not a handicap, yeah? You're able to do much. Manage internet use. This has been hard even for me sometimes. Let me own up. Sometimes you go so long on a certain game or certain things, but you have to say, by this time, I have to start reading the Bible. Or by this time, I've got to do exercises. Or I have to eat by this time. You have to be disciplined. And then social studies have shown people who are loners have problems. People who have friends and social support do better mentally in prevention and in treatment. Yeah. So we hope most of us have at least 2-3 dependable, trusted friends. And then this is the part I love best. Spirituality. Science has shown that people who are spiritual do better in mental health, cope better, whether they came from HDU, ICU, and they were followed after that in studies that were done in Australia and others. They found those who got holistic care, including spirituality, survived, after ICU longer. More of them survived than those who didn't. So spirituality is definitely a way, people who pray and believe in God, and you can understand. The Bible says when you have all problems, hand them over. Is it the book of Philippians? I forget the verses, but hand over your problems to God because He cares for you. Yeah. And you can see the act of handing over and literally, and then believing he will take care of you. And He does take care of you. So spirituality, universities, top psychiatry universities in the world have now introduced spirituality into the faculty of psychiatry because they see the relevance. About to finish. Of course, we have barriers to mental wellness because some people are so ignorant. After you say what they say, are you mental? I don't believe you're in witchcraft. And we should not tell them, why do you believe in witchcraft? What's wrong with you? As a therapist, you have to kind of be very sensitive in the clients you're dealing with. Don't minimize their beliefs or write them off, because they get offended and they feel they have not been heard. you have to find a way to navigate that issue of witchcraft, and how do you handle witchcraft? How have you handled witchcraft before? Oh, I've done this and this. Okay. Are you thinking of doing this and this? Social stigma. There are those who stigma, like when Paul was telling me to talk to this topic. So how shall we say mental, or shall we say something else? I said, Paul, let's not stigmatize the word mental. We have to come to reality. Mental health is a conversation we have to have. Some people don't want to talk about mental. They don't want to see a psychiatrist. They go and see a physician, yet they have depression. So it's like, oh, why didn't you come to us in the first place? Yeah. So let's not stigmatize. So according, it's part and parcel of health. You're not healthy without a good mental health. So stigma, limited access to mental health. We have an issue. We don't have enough psychiatrists, enough mental health facilities. And the government has under budgeted for health, especially mental health. It's about 0.01 to 0.1% of the national budget. That goes to mental health. So you find it's still the Madare, which is the main hospital. Other hospitals, they have tried in the county level to start mental health units. That at least there's a development. In my time, I've seen county hospitals with mental health units, but it's not enough because the population is just so high. And 1 in 4 people have some kind of mental illnesses. We don't have enough therapists, enough counselors, enough psychiatrists. Yeah. So those are some of the barriers. Cultural myths on misconceptions. Some people believe, no, this is witchcraft, or if you like in the uniformed forces, if you say I have depression, I have a mental condition, you are really made to look ridiculous. So you don't talk about it, you just vumilia, and then suffer quietly. So as a result, you neglect yourself. So as I wind up, a lot of us work in institutions. May we have mental health programs, workplace programs, employee assistance programs. In Kenyatta, we had employee assistance programs under the Human Resource Department, and it was a requirement in the government. Yeah, I don't know if it still is. I think it is. But the private sector, we need, mental health employment. The role of psychologists is so important. The mental health workers. Universities, we need mental health. It's crazy. Universities, I think they are overwhelmed. Yeah, we need awareness campaigns. The students are really suffering. Our days, we were treated so well as university students. You're given 5-course meals, chapos, chicken, what. Nowadays, you struggle. You go and buy githeri hapo, and it looks dry, and there's no nini. The students are going through a rough time and living in very difficult quarters. Yeah. We need policies, the government policies supporting mental health at all levels. Primary healthcare, I think it is already there, but now implementing what is in policy, implementing so that that dispensary, that health center has a mental health worker who is screening. Or we can train the nurses and staff at that level to do basic screening and basic management. We are there. We are happy to do that training. Yeah. Then we need to integrate mental health in all healthcare, and the role of chaplaincy. I happen to be a chaplain in our hospital, and chaplains. I learned chaplaincy is not just praying. Chaplaincy are like mental health workers and be able to intervene where people are disagreeing, conflict managers. They have a bigger role to play. May we have chaplains in all these institutions, universities, companies, because they deal with other issues beyond even the spiritual. And that's what I learned in some training recently. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, we have to maintain our wellness in this complex environment, work-life balance. I hope we all sometimes do exercise, sometimes go dancing, go holiday, take breaks, yeah? We need to work-life balance, yeah? I'm singing, by the way. I've started singing and I feel so vibrant. I started singing the last 2 weeks. I released a song. Shiro knows about it, but I'm telling you, I just feel singing singing is a mental health intervention, I must say. Healthy lifestyle. Yeah, hii mambo ya kuwa ati your lifestyle, you know what I mean by healthy lifestyle. Yeah, holistic care. Then we have to manage information overload. And nowadays, I said I've stopped listening to what the email is saying about broccoli, about groundnuts. Now I'll eat, I'll eat what I can eat. Yeah, because you get so stressed. Yeah, and this information overload and digital stress. We need to seek positive social and family engagements. Yeah, I'm looking forward for the 31st dinner by Live Your Dream team. And family engagements, when you have families, those aunties, uncles, let's purpose to have times when we meet together as families. You know, our cousins, our aunties, they had a role long ago. I believe they still have a role as aunties to mentor our youth, to support each other, to help each other. Young people feel freer with uncles and aunties and parents. Parents can be so authoritative and so, why are you asking me this? Huh? So we need to, and we need to adapt. We have a realistic pace in our digital environment. Thank God for this team, because you're teaching us to be very realistic in our pace and not compromise our wellness. Yeah. And we embrace positive psychology and spirituality. Like I said, these have been shown to actually prolong our lives and improve our mental health. So thank you all for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctor. You see, it worked. Yeah, technology is obedient, just like a dog, a pet dog, always obedient. Tell them to sit down, they sit down. Yeah. And then that positive psychology thing. I love everything you said, including music. I love music. Yeah, you've also told people here, says the doctor, fall in love because you will live stress free. Exercises and the likes. You see, it's not that hard. I think people just need to be deliberate. And much of the things that stress us don't need to stress us. There is something we love saying that it's uglier in the mind than in reality. Just like before you came in, it was difficult, yeah, but it wasn't, right?
It was easy.
Great. Yeah. So we just need to have positive expectation. Then now Maurice asks, thanks a lot. How do we know we are mentally unfit? We always assume it is the other person and not me. And yet we might be the ones who need help ourselves. So how do we get to know? Uh, that's the
Of
that's the
beyond,
information I've seen right now. So you can just go ahead and speak about.
yeah, you know, when you're well, you're well. You sleep well, you wake up, you talk well, you're able to go to work, to bath, to eat, to relate with your friends. But when that changes, such that now you cannot sleep, you find 1 or 2 hours, you are irritable, already things are annoying you, people are complaining about you or avoiding you, your appetite, you find you have to force yourself to eat. You wake up, you cannot go to work on time, your boss is complaining, you're not as productive, your wife is complaining, you know, a lot of people complaining, and you find you will know that you're not yourself. Sometimes you're tearful or feeling sad most of the times, lack of interest in the golf that you used to play and the things you used to do, locking yourself more in your room than not socializing. So you will notice, and people will tell you, people will avoid you. And people, if 2, 3 people are complaining about you from different places, then you check yourself and say, have yourself assessed. I'm happy to do it for you.
Thank you, thank you. We are also, you also said that we should be sociable people, yeah? We should love to live together, to work together, to play together. And like you said, we also have a dinner. So, you know, enough of us getting an opportunity for dinner is not easy. So let's subscribe, and join the dinner upcoming, and we have information that was shared there. There is also a WhatsApp group where we can keep the community. How do I help a person who is sick and admitted in hospital to have a positive outlook as the progress is very little compared to the effort they put?
So is this somebody who is sick in hospital, who is not
Yes,
doing very well? Yeah.
admitted.
Yeah, we hope that the hospital staff will realize and refer a psychologist uh, to help them. But you yourself, by visiting them, encouraging them, praying for them, and just giving them hope, does so much. When you see this large crowd of visitors waiting outside Kenyatta at lunchtime just to outside hospitals to see patients, it's not for nothing. It really encourages the patient. So already you are doing a lot, I'm sure. But we hope that the hospital staff will also pick it up and bring in the chaplain, the chaplaincy, that's one of the roles, and the counselor. Yes.
Thank you very much. I know time is not on our side. The rest are just comments, but I think at this particular moment in time, we need to just move to the next level. I will call somebody to pass a vote of thanks, and then Antonia will. Doctor, if you have a comment, you can put it in the chat. And Dr. Makanyengo, you can also put your contact in the chat and contact for Oasis, so people can reach out, because it's already time is already well spent. So Cynthia Nashami, it's good to see you. I just saw you on the screen and I said this would be the best person to give vote of thanks. So at least it may make me see you more. Maybe it will help my mental health, you see. So come on, online.
Thanks, OPP and Power Monday team. I've really missed you a lot. And thanks to Dr. Margaret. I joined a bit late, but I appreciate the little that I've had towards the end. So to make OPP have peace and to start us off, in Thanksgiving, I want to say that on behalf of all of us here, I want to extend our deepest appreciation to you, Dr. Margaret Othieno, for that truly insightful and inspiring session on mental health. I think if I heard correctly, you've just reminded us that mental health is not just about surviving, it's about finding balance, compassion, connection in our everyday life. And I think the stories, some of them you've given to us at the end, I can relate to them. There are practical strategies that you have shared that has really given us knowledge and hope. So I am especially grateful for you to have created this safe space for us to reflect and just dialogue about mental health. You'll have helped our bodies and our minds to just know that it's important not just to care for our bodies, but also our minds as well, and talk about things that depress us, things that affect us, especially mentally. So to everyone who has made it possible, our organizers, the participants, the support team, thank you so much. And to all participants, your presence and energy, let's carry these lessons forward, what we've learned today, and continue the conversation beyond this room. OPP has just mentioned that we have the group, subscribe to the dinner. Let's meet and interact. Thank you so much, and for the privilege to give a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's now, I've now started the week well. It's been a while since I saw you. Yeah. Now, thank you, everyone. And just like Nashami said, we have a dinner coming, and we also have a WhatsApp group. I had shared a link there for Power Monday. Power Monday has been there for 5 years. We are going to celebrate 5 years. And at this moment, I'd like to, and just to let you know that Dr. Makanyengo will be staying behind after we finish, because we've got to close by 8:15. She will be there to interact briefly before we call it an end. Hey, I've also seen Dr. Carol Chakua here. Yeah, mental health champions are fantastically joined. Let's have Antonia. Antonia, are you there to give any announcements before we close?